Coaches Center here at the Glenville State College Athletic Department. And the Coaches Show, our guest this afternoon is head women's soccer coach J.R. Dotson. Coach, good to see you today.
Thanks for having me, Coach.
Well, now this will be our first interview since the season has officially ended. A lot to hang your hat on. 4 wins, big step up for the program. Won 3 of the last 5. At Wheeling, big overtime victory here over West Liberty, and the senior night win over AB. Just all the positives you can draw from those wins over the last 2 weeks of the season.
I think the main thing that we can take away from it is confidence. I think the girls started believing that they're finally a team. We have a lot going into next year, even with the loss at Concord, being in at halftime 1-0. We could have done some things to make that game even closer, but we're trying to explore and learn for next year. Took some chances that probably normally we wouldn't have. But the girls, these young ladies, know now that they can win, I think, and I'm looking forward to the off season. I'm going to travel down to Florida, play a couple of games down there over spring break, and get focused and do a lot of recruiting for next year. And I think it's going to be exciting pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, coming off the recruiting and a lot of the cornerstones you've built on the program I saw early on was fitness. Really you hammered the fitness when you got everything back. The off season going to be similar as far as keeping that culture rolling.
For sure. Our first cornerstone is always team. Everybody has to be accountable to each other and responsible, and that's where we need that to go into the fitness. But yes, I'll push fitness big. I think we started a little bit behind with that this year, coming in a little bit late. The girls weren't quite at the fitness level we would like to have them, but what's really neat about them is they're all willing to work. No one growls about it. So yeah, this off season we'll be working hard on the fitness, and then we'll carry it right over into summer and come back ready to go.
Yeah, we hospitality. We speak with the officials as we. That was some of the conversations we had. They said they always know that the Glenville team, with you is that they play hard and that's a physical group, and I think it kept you competitive in a lot of matches this year. You played against some ranked teams.
For sure, and even the overtime win, fitness was huge. We hung in there, and I was nervous going into overtime about being able to hang in there. But our girls hang our hat on that. I think we're pretty fit, but we'll be more fit next year.
But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Dusty Metzger. Did a nice story on you in your first year in the Weston News. I appreciate you sending that along. Again, you're the Lewis County, and I've lived over in Walkersville for the last 15 years. Just about representing this area, like what it means for you to.
Oh, it's exciting, and I think, and he got that quote at the end of the article. I absolutely love being here. I love Glenville State. I love all the people around here. It makes it a lot easier to come to work and want to work. So him tying that back into Lewis County, and even brought McKenzie into it because I coached McKenzie at Lewis County High School. It just makes it more of a hometown feel, and so Glenville doesn't just have to be Gilmer County. We're still locals. We're stretching counties out, and I think it's pretty neat. We live in a small state, and to me, Glenville is it's the whole state. So he brought that in pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And in our previous interviews today, we talked about Seth Arnold in football from Burnsville, and Jordan Williams with wrestling, also from Burnsville, representing Braxton County. You've got the Lewis County connection here. We like to think that Glenville State College represents Central West Virginia as a whole, and we want to, really extend the fan base with that. And I think you've done a good job of getting, working on bringing more fans.
Yeah, that was actually kind of fun. I think we'll explore that more next year, and I'll be reaching out to more high school coaches to do that, where the Pioneer bus goes, picks them up, brings them in, and everybody we brought in doing that had a great time. I think it's going to get us some soccer players as well, but I thought that was pretty neat that Admission did that.
Yeah, Admission's again are doing a good job over there. We're moving forward now. Have you had any thoughts about or looked into what you're looking for the non-conference schedule next year, or what direction you want to go with that?
Well, not probably as much as I should, but we can only pick up 2 games, so it kind of limits you on what you can do. And we'll definitely return Converse's game there, and then I'll try to pick up someone else that's close down there in the South Carolina, North Carolina area. Probably while we're down there, I'm not quite sure, honestly, Coach, to figure out where we want to go, but we'll definitely go down there, play them. I think we've already got that scheduled, the 28th tentatively penciled in. But,
be a good trip for them to open up with and be down there. And
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot with that, but I know we're already looking ahead.
And I am too. Right now I'm heading out tomorrow, as you know, to go watch the junior college playoffs down in Daytona, and I will make some connections there where we can go play this spring down there, and that's one of the things I want new recruits coming in to understand, is that we're not going to be just playing in around this area. This year, plan on going down to Florida and playing junior college and maybe one other D2 school, and then the year after that, I want to find somewhere else to explore. Maybe it's Texas. I don't know. Those are the things that I think Glenville State can do within the soccer program. Is we're going to explore different areas to play and not just be stuck in our region.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you, we really appreciate the job you did here this year. And
thank you.
These last couple of weeks was very exciting, the way the young ladies came along. But looking forward to the future, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Welcome to the Waco Center, back here at the Glenville State College Athletic Department. And this afternoon, the Coaches Show, our guest is head wrestling coach Dylan Cockrell. Coach, good to see you.
Good to be back.
Pretty eventful last week since last we spoke. I know we were coming off, the first event there, going into the home event out on the football field. We were talking about, all the went into that. Ended up being a great event, great weather. Talk to us about that day with Fairmont and Campbellsville.
Well, yeah, like you said, the weather was the big one. We had waited, pretty much all year since we decided that we were going to do that. And, Monday rolled around and it still said, hey, 72, not going to rain until 8. So we were hoping that, the weather held up, and it did. A little windy at the start, caused a little problems, but we figured it out. Had a good showing of fans there for outside, and I think it was good for them, coming off the COVID year for our first real home match. This first time we really wrestled here. This year, we had our scrimmage, but really competing. And then, on the competition side of things, it went about as well as you can hope for. We blanked Fairmont, got that kind of revenge win that we were talking about last week. Lost to them last year 23-22, ended up winning 55-0.
Yep.
So just kind of shows that, as a team, we're getting a heck of a lot better, and we're moving in the right direction. And then Campbellsville, wrestling is a sport where it doesn't really matter, NAIA, Division III, Division II, you can wrestle and be good anywhere. So beating a top 10 team, they were number 9 coming in, is good. NAIA, like I said, and we, it really wasn't close. To be honest, we won 7 out of the 10 matches. I thought we should have won 9. Kevin was a little banged up still from, earlier events and stuff. And I think it showed in some of his wrestling, the other one that we lost at 97, just kind of got caught in a scramble and got pinned, and that happens. There's really good wrestlers, and if you make small mistakes, big things can happen. So I felt like we could have won 9 out of 10 of those matches. I really did. But still, a great showing to go and beat a conference rival, and then also take down a top 10 team in the country. So
yeah, got a lot of great feedback from that entire event out there, and again, like I said, the weather was beautiful. It was a great
it was a beautiful day.
I had some great pictures from out there. And then you carried that into the weekend. 46 institutions represented up that Ohio Intercollegiate. The gold division, the white division, a lot of wrestlers there. Of course, the gold division, we had a lot of folks in that. There were only 3 Division II wrestlers that made the final. 2 of them were Glenville State wrestlers. Jordan Williams made the final. Cole Hauser made the final.
Yep.
Devin Easton also scored, placed, got 5th. But yeah, just talk about that performance and what it means for the program.
Well, I mean, it shows that we're bringing in wrestlers and we're able to go to bigger tournaments and place and wrestle against good guys. You know, those guys are beating Division I kids and, you know, beating some really good Division II kids. You know, Jordan Williams got a win against an MEC foe, right, who was last year's 197 champ of MEC and currently ranked 10th in the country. You know, and Jordan hasn't been with us all year, so he's not even, you know, in the shape as some of the guys on our team. So he's just continuing to get better. And, you know, a win like that for him is his first real big signature college win. And it's great for his confidence, you know. So he'll, you know, probably jump into the national rankings. And Cole's looked great all year, you know, and I knew coming in from last year, he just cut. You know, I don't think cutting weight for him was the best option. And we said, hey, let's get big over the summer. Let's get strong and focus on getting better at wrestling. And, you know, I told some of my friends, you know, old guys who I wrestled with at WVU, hey, I got a kid at 84 who he's going to have a breakout year this year. I can tell you from practicing with him, he's tough. And he has so far. Yeah. Came out, you know, beat up on some kids. He was another one who, in his quarterfinal, he beat a returning MEC champ, 174-pounder from last year at Notre Dame, Logan Hall. So, you know, both of our guys there that made the finals not only made the finals in a big open, where we have, you know, Division I starters there from Ohio State, Ohio, they also were able to beat big conference and regional opponents along the way. So that's great wins for us. Devin Easton has been you know, I don't want to say a surprise, but a great little addition so far. You know, that at 133, 6-2 won the year. He has 5 pins. And placed again this weekend and scored a lot of team points for us, got 2 pins in the duels. So he's looking really good, and he's just continuing to get better. He's got a lot of potential, and he's just now scratching the surface on kind of figuring out who he is as a college wrestler and you know, where he wants to go.
Well, again, up and down the weight classes, you know, there's been some solid performances, and I know it's early, but you have a date up in Waynesburg this week. So I think you said there's 5 teams.
Right.
Just what are you wanting to get out this weekend with that event?
Well, the Waynesburg duel, you know, there's 4 teams, including us, so 5 teams in the whole thing, dual tournament style, and they're all pretty good Division III foes. So we're taking off a little bit, you know, going down and wrestling some Division IIIs from last week. You know, last week was our big test for the month of November, but we still want to be able to wrestle hard, and this is good for us. We're going to get back in that team atmosphere where, you know, last week in the Open, the guys are going and they're more on themselves. You know, they get a chance to be a little bit selfish in the Open and just go really focus on themselves in a tournament. This week we're back as a team, a cohesive unit together. So I want to see a lot of energy like there was in the Fairmont Campbellsville duel. I want to see our team being positive for our guys. And, you know, again, we talk about, and I think I talked about this last week, if they give me right now attitude and effort 100%, right, I'm not too worried about the results. And in general, the results usually take care of themselves in a positive manner if those guys are working and making sure that we're giving good attitude, good effort all the time. So that's really what it is, right? Continuing to be consistent in the classroom, in our 6 a.m. workouts, you know, anytime. And if they do that, it's going to take care of itself. And so far it has, and it's going to continue to do that.
I tell you, I always look for, you know, the team, the way the team reacts, the way they react to each other, interaction, and in the Campbellsville match, Hunter DeLong, when he made the move at the end,
right.
Evan Shamlin was down as well and came back and
yeah.
made a similar. Again, it goes back to the fitness that we've talked about, but the reaction of the guys.
Yeah.
You know, when that happened, I mean, certainly, you know, they're really, you can tell they're pulling for each other all the way.
Yeah, they're a close-knit group. They hang out all the time, and they go to war for each other, you know, and it's nice to see that. So I'll have random thoughts throughout the day, you know, and I don't have something to jot down. So my notes in my phone is filled up with just random thoughts, you know, where I don't want to lose it. And one of them in there was one day, you know, I was watching another dual meet, and I thought, you know, we need to do a better job this year of having energy on our side, right? And that was one of the things that we harped on that day before. You know, right before we went out there, I told the guys, I said, hey, we need to have high energy the whole time. It doesn't matter if we lose a match, right? And it starts going down. You guys, you know, your thing you can do for your teammate over here is to get back up as quick as possible, right? And so they did a really good job of that, of just going, and even if we lost the match, right? Making sure that they had high energy for the next guy, giving their teammate the same, energy that they did for the teammate before. And that helps. Like you said, the long match, it was crazy. It was fun and come behind win. That guy he was wrestling was a former Division I wrestler at Indiana University, so he's no slouch. That was a good win for him. And, the crowd was into it. The guys were into it. I was into it. I was jumping up and down, calling for the pin over there. Same with Gavin. So, it was a fun event. And like I said, that team energy is really what we want going into this weekend for Waynesburg.
We're excited, where things are going here. We'll get together again next week and talk about what went down to Waynesburg. We're only 3 weeks away from WVU, so we'll be coming back with
not far.
Not far. Hey, thanks for joining us today.
Yep.
And we'll stay in touch here.